Hello everyone. This is a video lecture for College Algebra, Math 1414, Section 9.1. We're going to talk more about matrices. But now we're finally in 9.1. They're going to focus on the fact that they're systems of equations this time, kind of like I had introduced in the last section. And so we're going to do some math with this. Let's start off with just a problem. 911. I guess the very first problem on your homework. So I got 6x plus y plus 5z is equal to 4. And then I got a 3x minus 8y minus z is equal to 5. And then I got an x minus 7y minus 3z is equal to negative 7. Could you imagine doing this one by hand? Come on. Solve for x, y, and z. I'll wait. No, I won't. So, at this point, just like last time, we are going to be using Desmos. So, you might wonder why we're doing Desmos at this time and not another time. It's because we're trying to not use graphing calculators and other help before the final exam. This stuff is not on a unit exam. It is only on a final exam. And so on the final exam right now, it's okay to be using these graphing calculators and Desmos and stuff. And so that's why I'm focusing on that stuff now and not previously. So first off, what are we supposed to do with this problem? Let's tackle it. Well, they're saying rewrite it. And that's it. They don't actually want to solve. Now, we will have to solve. That's going to happen here in just a minute or two. But not right now. It's kind of weird. They just say, hey, rewrite it as a matrix. Okay. Notice I am just going to put the numbers in the front here, the coefficients. And so like notice this x in particular. There's just x. How many x's you got? You got one x, so you put a 1. Okay, just wanted to remind you those little things like that. Ta-da! I think that this one you're not creating a matrix, but you're just filling in each box kind of thing. I think. Can't remember. But it's actually pretty simple, so moving on. Now, this time, they actually give us a matrix. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Oops, that's a negative 2. And they're now saying rewrite it again, but the other way. And so then they have 3 boxes, and I'm going to fill those. I'm going to fill those in. There we go. And so I have got x, y, z equals a number. So here we go. 7x plus 0y plus 2z equals a negative 12. Okay, hold on. I got a question. Does this work? I have it down in my notes that it does. But you don't have to write it. Let's say you got it wrong. And it says, no, although it's equal to the correct answer or something silly like that. Just remove it. Just remove it. Same thing with this guy here. I'm just rewriting it. 0, 1, negative 2, 13. You could just get rid of that. You don't even have to have a 1 in the front there. And then finally, I have a 2x plus 7y plus 0z is equal to 8. Again, you don't need to write that. I'm just showing you where they're coming from. That's your answer. Next question, 9-1-21. I have x plus y minus z equals a negative 5. I've got 2x minus y plus z equals a 2. And then I got a negative x plus 5y minus 4z equals 1. Now we need to solve for x, y, and z. In fact, how they put it is very, very similar to the Chapter 8 stuff, but they don't force you to put the parentheses yourself. At this point, you could just put them in the 3 boxes. So that's a little easier. So, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this thing? I'm going to tell you. We're going to go to Desmos. I'm going to write out what this matrix is going to be. If I convert it, I have a 1, 1, negative 5, 2, negative 1, 1, 2, and then negative 1, 5, negative 4, 1. Okay, so what I want to do when I solve, it's called RREF. RREF. What this is going to do is create a new matrix, but it's going to be a simplified version. Simplified, I think that's how I spell it. Simplified version, which we can extract the answers from very quickly. My goal is to use this RREF in order to solve it. Now, what does RREF stand for? It stands for row reduced echelon form. It basically just means get the answer. So let's do it so we can get the answer. RREF, it stands for get the answer. First off, I need to put in a new matrix, and this one is going to be a 3 by 4. If you go back, you can see 3 by 4. Now, notice there's that augment line that I was talking about last time. We don't need to put that. Desmos does not include it. I can't put it in there even if I wanted to, so I'm just going to do the best I got here. So 1, 1, negative 1, negative 5. I'm just copying them down. 2, negative 1, 1, 2, negative 1, 5, negative 4, 1. And then I'm going to do RREF of A. Now, notice that they're lowercase. I'm just not very good at writing lowercase letters, as you know. So I always write the capitals. But RREF, there you go. We got this new answer. This is my simplified matrix. I'm going to copy it down. I'm going to copy it down here. So I got a 1, 0, 0. Let me make it a little bit better looking. 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And then over here, I have a negative 1, a 16, and a 20. So let's interpret. The quick version is that this is your X, your Y, and your Z. Those are your answers. You're done. Walk away. No more math. That was pretty easy, right? But why? Right there, why? No, I'm playing. X. No. If you notice that I remember I was saying that this was an X, Y, and Z equals a number. We had talked about that in the last section briefly. This is X, Y, Z equals a number. And so if I rewrote this, this is looks like the second question that we did in this section just now. I got a 1X plus a 0Y plus a 0Z is equal to negative 1. Well, we don't need these. And so what you end up with is X equals negative 1. Ta-da! All the others are very similar, and you get those same answers. That's why we don't actually have to write it, because they're already done. And so curlies, 3 boxes. We're going to fill them in. I've got negative 1, 16, and 20. That's it. Very simple. Next question, 9-1-31. So I've got 3a minus b plus 4c is equal to negative 7. 2a minus b plus 2c is equal to negative 4. A plus 2b minus 2c is equal to 9. Now, you do not need to think about a, b, and c any differently than x, y, and z. What I want to do is convert this over to a matrix, put it into Desmos, and RREF. And then you would be done. RREF, get the answer, and we're done. And so here we go. I'm going to go and retype all this, I guess. If you've noticed, I've always started from the beginning here because it always starts with an A. Not required, but it definitely is helpful to do that. 3, negative 1, 4, negative 7, 2, negative 1, 2, negative 4, 1, 2, negative 2, 9. RREF of A. Yep, those are your answers. You're done right there. 1, 2, negative 2. 1, 2, negative 2. Here you go. Curlies, I guess. Whatever. 1, 2, negative 2. That's it. No other math needed. You like this, don't you? I like this. All right. As we're going through the homework, everything seems fine. I did not do all the homework. I'm just going to tell you straight up, there's so many problems that are just like this, again and again and again. RREF. I just wanted to do this one because it had an A, B, and a C, but it's no different than all the others. This problem, however, is different than all the others. I cannot remember if you actually have two of them or not on your homework, but they're moderately difficult. I mean, I'm going to set it up for you. I'm going to show you how to do them where they're not difficult. But, yeah, there's a lot going on. And if you didn't see this, it would be extremely difficult to try to figure out. It's difficult just to understand what they're wanting. We have this very generic function. They give us these 3 points and say, go and find out the specific values of A, B, and C. So, for example, maybe it's a 2x squared plus 3x minus 1, something like that. This is what we're going to answer. This is what's going to go in the box. That's not the answer, by the way. I'm just getting to the point that we're typing a whole function in as the answer, given that we have these points. Now, remember that it's f of x equals a what? Y value. What you're doing is creating these points here, like this. And with each one of these points, I'm going to set up a new row in my matrix. How am I going to delineate my matrix? What kind of columns do I have? Well, I'm wanting to solve for A, B, and C. That's going to be the answers. But I'm not really concerned about the A, B, and C right now. I'll get those here in a minute. I really want to know what the format's going to be for each one of these, and it's going to be the numbers beside them. Normally we use the numbers, like in the front. But this time I'm using the numbers not in the front, but in the back. I'm using the x values. We have an x, we have a y, and so what I'm going to do is set it up like x squared, x, and then, hey, what's right next to the c? A 1 equals a y value. Let me show you. It's always better to be seeing it rather than talking about it. I got right here, this 1 right here, 1 squared, 1, always a 1, that has nothing to do with any of these guys. Just because of these guys has nothing to do here. Equals 18. Let's do another one. You see this right here, the negative 3, right? Negative 3 squared, all of it squared, just a negative 3, always a 1. See? It's always a 1. Doesn't matter. Always a 1. 22. Last one. You see that 3 right there? 3 squared, 3, always a 1, 64. This is your new matrix, and you're going to RREF this guy and get the answers for both A, B, and C. You put them in, and you're going to be done. It's a very simple problem once you know the setup. Once you know how to put it in. Look at this for a second. Pause the video for a second. Master that pattern, because it's a pattern. I have seen this question on the final exam. You might see this again. So look at this. Understand how this works. There's a pattern to it, and that's okay. It's okay to have patterns. So I'm going to start over. New matrix. This will be a 3 by 4, and so I'm going to start typing it in almost exactly as you see it. 1 squared, 1, always a 1, 18. I then got negative 3 squared, negative 3, always a 1, 22. And then finally, 3 squared, 3, always a 1, 64. I sure hope they simplify that for me. RREF of A. Yeah, I don't know if they actually simplified it for me, because that's not what I got. 22, 18, 64. Let's see if I do it the other way. I got a different number, but I think I typed my answers down okay. Okay, so let's just see if this is going to work here. Let's just get rid of this, because that's going to be distracting. I thought that it would automatically do it. I thought Desmos, hey man, it's going to do everything for you. Maybe not. I don't really know. So let's test it out. I'm going to get rid of that square by just having 1 squared as 1. Negative 3 squared, 2 negatives make a positive, 9. And then here we're going to have a positive 9 as well. REF of A. No. Where did I... Oh, I messed up. There it is. I had put a 2 right here. It's actually a 3. I had just mistyped. Let me prove to you that it's still going to work with the 1 squared and all that stuff. So think about this for a second. 3 squared. I went and did my whole thing here, and I had messed up simply right here. I had put a 2 instead of a 3. Perfect learning example right here with you and me. And I went and tried everything else right in front of you. I mean, there's a recording. I didn't intentionally do that, but I'm glad I did. You will encounter something similar. You're going to get these decimals or fractions or something weird. It's just not working. I don't get the right answer. Go back and look at your numbers. Go back and look at your numbers. Did you type them all correctly? I don't know. So that's the point. Whenever I put a 3 in, all of a sudden it's magical. It works. Okay? Recognize when things aren't going right so that you can make them right. Everyone makes mistakes, even me. Here's your answers, 4, 7, and 7. And those are the answers not for X, not for X, Y, and Z. They're your answers for A, B, and C. So A is equal to a 4, B is equal to a 7, and C is equal to a 7. And so if I were to rewrite this again, AX squared, BX plus C, I now say 4x squared, oh, hold on, 4x squared, 7x, and a 7. That is what you finally type in for your answer. Okay. I am glad that I messed it up in front of you so that you can see how to fix it, how to recognize how to fix it, all that kind of stuff. The next one's talking about foods. And so we got A, B, and C. And then up on top we got calories, protein, and vitamin C. Most important things. And they give me this matrix here. And what they're wanting is to combine foods A, B, and C into a meal so that it has a specific nutritional requirement fulfilled. I don't know about you, but I don't want my food to be starting with nutritional, I don't know, numbers, and then all of a sudden does it taste any good anymore? So the total that we're looking for each calorie, protein, and vitamin C is going to be the 1,300, 36 grams of protein, and 500 whatever vitamin C. Okay, so there we go. Well, doesn't it look like a matrix to you? Doesn't that look like a matrix? And yes, it does. The only problem is that this is a 4 by 3. And 4 by 3s, I'm going to tell you, you go to Desmos, you put it in RREF, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work with a 4 by 3. You'll get weird numbers or something. It's just not going to work. But a 3 by 4 makes it work really, really nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transpose this. Yep, that's the word. Transpose. Basically, whenever I'm reading downwards, I'm actually going to write across 100, 400, 400, 1,300. And then going across, down, across 8, 10, 9, 16, 50, and then finally 4. Whoa. Yeah, it's 400. 16. Nope. I'm all messed up. See, I did it again. Look, going down, I got a 36 right there. Going down. See, I mess up all the time. All the time. You just don't see it off screen. Okay, there's my new matrix. And you're going to RREF that thing. Let me go and do that. Prove to you that it's going to work. Okay, new matrix. 3 by 4. Let me start putting the numbers in. We got a 100, 400, 400, 1,300, 8, 10, 9, and 36. We've got 400, 1650, 300, and 2650. RREFA, and you can see my answers would be 1, 1, and 2. It's always the last column. That's your answers. I'm just 1, 1, and 2. So how many A's, how many B's, how many C's? 1, 1, and 2. I have one last problem. It's kind of like a word problem, so let's talk about it. 9150. So this used to be called the White House problem. White House problem. Because it talked about the White House. It said, hey, in the White House, there's this many rooms, this many bathrooms, this many fireplaces, this many elevators. And they would give specific numbers. And you would have to go and find all the equations and go and try to find out how many of these rooms, bathrooms, elevators are there in the White House. Well, guess what? You could search for the amount of rooms, bathrooms, fireplaces, and elevators in the White House on your local search engine. And that would be it. You would just copy it down and you would be done. So my math lab said, we can't do that anymore. So they randomized it. Something like the White House problem. But if you want to go just look up how many rooms, bathrooms, fireplaces, elevators in the White House, it'll pop right up and show you all the numbers. It's kind of funny. So now we're going to change it to some new numbers. And here's the English that they're going to use. They say combined, we have 202 rooms, bathrooms, fireplaces, and elevators. Okay? Combined, 202 of all of these things. Next sentence. The rooms exceeds the bathrooms and the fireplaces by 71. Next sentence. The difference between fireplaces and elevators is 23. Last sentence. It says if your bathrooms were doubled, they would exceed the fireplaces and elevators by 37. I always wonder why there's problems like this that exist in the whole wide world. But I'll tell you one thing that might be similar. I remember that back at some point in English history in England or something, I'm talking like 1800s, 1700s, they did taxes on buildings according to the amount of windows that were facing the street. And so then they would have some kind of complicated formula as to how taxes were made and this and that. People didn't make a lot of windows, and that's a fire hazard. So regardless, my point is that there at least used to be reasonings for this. There might still be some like that in our own tax code. I don't know. But let's try to figure out this problem. Combined, I have 202 rooms, bathrooms, fireplaces, elevators. What if I just do R, B, F, and E? Sounds good enough. Combined means add. And so I'm going to say rooms plus bathrooms plus fireplaces plus elevators is equal to 202. Next sentence, my rooms exceeds bathrooms and fireplaces by 71. That means that my rooms should be equal to, exceeds equals here, bath plus the fireplace plus an additional 71. That's why the rooms exceeds this amount by that much. Next one, we got difference. Difference here means subtraction. So fireplaces minus elevators is equal to 23. Last one, if the bathrooms are doubled, that means 2 times B, it would exceed the fireplaces and elevators by an additional 37. What you have here are a list of equations. We're going to now translate that into a matrix, RREF, and get your answers. One thing about my math lab is that obviously these numbers here are going to be randomized, right? Well, here's the other thing that actually randomizes. It sometimes says triples. If your bathrooms were tripled, blah, blah, blah. Watch out for that. Those little things happen too. So I'm going to put this whole thing into a matrix. I'm going to do R, B, F, E, equal sign 202. Before I can be perfect with it, I need to get everything on the one side. I need to get all of these letters here onto the same side. When I move those over, won't I subtract? Won't I get a negative number there now? And so looking at the top, I got 1, 1, 1, 1 equals 2. Oh, why did I put 202 right there? I don't know. I was wanting a number. Hold on. Number. That's better. So yeah, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so rooms. I got 1, negative 1, negative 1. Did you talk anything about elevators? Nope. 0. And then finally equal to 71. 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 23. And then finally 0, 2. Again, when you move these over, they're negative now. Negative 1, 37. This is a 4 by 5 matrix. We're going to put that in to Desmos, RREF, and you get the answer. So, well, here we go. So, new matrix, 4 by 5. It's very large. Could you try to imagine doing this by hand? We used to do that back in the day. Yep. Not a couple years ago. We used to still do these matrices by hand. I don't think anybody wants to do that again. So we're not. REF of A, and there's your answers. So we have 134 rooms, 35 bathrooms, 28 fireplaces, and 5 elevators. Again, it's not the White House anymore, but White House is something close to that. Okay, that's all I got for you. Next section in a few minutes. Thank you very much. Have a great day.